Yeah, welcome to the Soft Vikings.
With
Another Monday.
another Monday.
Yeah.
Hello, I'm Erik, the tyrannical father,
Yeah, I'm John, the lost son.
and we're going to take you on a quest,
Yeah, on a quest.
a Viking quest for meaning, purpose, and love.
Mm.
Quest for love.
Yeah, believe it or not.
Yes. And we're going to try to set right a basic relation between me and you.
Mhm.
And above all, try to be use this podcast as a tool to be a better person or a better version
Yeah,
of
improve.
ourselves.
Isn't that the hope that one can be better tomorrow?
Yeah.
Or today
Or
than
today.
yesterday.
Improve.
Mm-hmm.
Better is I don't know if I like that, you know.
You don't
but
like better?
no, because improve is like to be a better version of yourself.
Yeah, it's a little more simplistic to
Yeah.
say better.
Yeah.
I see what you mean. But
Yeah.
that's more like a value statement. But improve.
Improve.
That's good, but maybe not improving in being an asshole.
For instance.
This, it depends on the improvement. But I mean, embrace it.
The
I
first
guess.
episode, I talked a little about my upbringing.
Yes,
You were not there.
you didn't get that far. I think
No.
you kind of ended
Kicked off.
like a bit before
Yes.
that time.
So I was 25, I think, when you were born.
Yeah, so that's in 81
81.
here in Oslo,
Yes.
Norway. Yeah, so you were 25.
Oh,
Quite young, or it's pretty
26 actually.
more, it was pretty
I'm
average.
born in
that
55.
time, right?
Yeah, what's normal?
Pretty normal.
Normal, yes.
Yeah, times
All my
have changed.
Friends, yes, very much.
Because now it's, I don't think the average age is probably a good 10-year,
Older.
almost.
I mean, your mother she's 2 years older than me, I think. One
Yeah.
or two, yeah.
28.
So it wasn't that dramatic
No.
young.
No.
So that's something that has changed.
Because that's fascinating, because both you, my father, and my mother have had another child. But
Yes.
then that was much later.
Yeah.
So that was like a 15-year gap with
Yeah.
both.
Yeah.
About. So that was more like the modern way. So my mom was pretty late. She had my sister. She was 40,
Over 40.
over 40, 43, 44, something like that. And you were
I was
almost
42,
the same,
52, 62.
like
yeah.
my age now.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I'm ready for grandchildren.
Yeah, you just had this combination of stubborn kids and modern times.
Yeah, that's a bad combo.
That's a hard combo. And I mean, my story isn't that unique, that many people wait much longer these days.
Yeah,
Since, the average.
Some wait and some doesn't really get into play.
Yeah, that as well.
Yes,
I don't know.
but that's not
The
your
numbers
destiny so
there.
far, because I remember you had a girlfriend already when you were like 14.
Yeah, they've been waiting for me to say yes for a long time.
Yes, come on.
That's true. I mean, it's been
You had
I've been asked that question more times than I can remember.
yeah,
Are we gonna have
Like you.
children, John?
yeah, and you said no.
I said later.
Yeah, you maybe you weren't ready, I guess.
I mean, it wasn't. It's a hard question. I think nobody really ever is ready until you get it. So in a way, you never are, right?
And you were not planned.
No. You can start there. It's a good
Yes.
starting point. I wasn't planned at all.
You wasn't planned. You tried to avoid to get you as hard as we could.
Yeah.
Your mother had the perceptions. It was this spiral.
Yeah.
It should be very safe.
It's the safest there is.
Yes, they say.
Or yeah,
Yes.
it's a copper
Yes.
spiral, which is like a mechanical obstacle, basically.
She said she had it,
Well, that's true. You never.
but she was honest. I believed her, and
Yeah.
but my semen were
Nine-
able to
99.9 or something.
yeah.
So it's better than condoms.
Yes. But my Siemens were able to, get around that obstacle.
Yeah, I mean, at least physically, I've always been fit. So
Yes. So
it's a good start to life. It's a rough one.
yeah. It's a very rough one.
So it's like the first moment in my life, or at least half my being, was
But-
swimming that obstacle course.
That's true. But when she got pregnant, there was like I don't think we had a discussion either. If I don't really remember.
Sorry, just sit a little more center. So
Okay.
so in the side of the picture, we're still learning.
Yes. I don't. I
Sorry.
don't think there was a discussion about not having you. So
No?
we were happy. So then we went for it.
Yeah, I never heard any stories like you were not. Yeah, I heard I wasn't planned, but I never heard I wasn't wanted.
No, you were wanted,
Yeah,
and you were born
summer of '81.
summer of '81, and you were born 4 or 5 weeks before termin,
Yeah,
or what?
before term. Yeah.
Yeah.
So quite at that time it was quite early.
Yeah, you
Because-
were small, 2.2 kilos,
Yeah, it's not big.
and you went down to 2 before you.
Yeah, you
gained.
low, huh?
But from there, like physically, like no problem. You were breastfeed
Yeah,
the first
for
year, at
at
least.
least longer probably
A
little bit
minimum
around.
the first year, yes,
around, which is healthy.
which is super healthy.
Yeah. I think that debate is over,
Yes,
isn't it?
yeah.
Nobody really
Breastfeed
tries to
girls.
claim you're like, oh,
Come on.
formula is better. It's like,
Out with your tits.
because that
Yeah.
was at least what I heard
Nothing
in the
to say.
70s or something. They had an argument for a while that this was better
Yeah, of course.
because they couldn't
In the
really
70s.
didn't know.
Yes.
In the
No,
of course,
there
in the
it was this combination of.
lack of understanding.
It's I don't want to do the job, or all female activities were too hard, or they were too out of fashion. I don't know. And of course, then you have the aesthetical ones that your tits are
Yeah.
getting a little, exhausted.
Yeah, and you had the weakness in the medicine, which
Yes.
is because this is a famous example in medicine of the problems with science, because it looked like it was good or even better because the side effects, first of all, takes a long time,
Yeah.
and the other thing is that didn't know what they were looking for.
No.
So they didn't know that the formula was lacking certain things because they didn't know it existed.
No.
So it's a problem of fundamental
Yeah, to
understanding.
replicate,
Yeah, because
mother's
you-
milk. Yes.
Yeah, it's like this looks
Yeah.
perfectly fine in my
Yes.
test,
Yes.
and the kids looks okay.
Yeah.
It took 15 years. Oh,
Yes.
the kid wasn't.
That good.
Oh, it could. Yeah, because it's a lot of the immune system and health. Basic health is from the mother, right?
Absolutely.
And same with natural birth compared to C-section.
Yes.
Of course, in the start, they thought, "Oh, C-section is great."
Yes. But
But the process of getting pushed out there,
Yes.
you get all these things in your face, and
Yes.
it comes into your mouth,
yes.
and that kind of starts off the immune system.
Yeah. Okay.
So
I
now they
didn't know.
do a smear. I think they
Okay.
actually put it on, even
Okay.
on
I
the
didn't know.
C-section.
I didn't know.
So there's something with nature that it's been actually thought.
Yeah, that's where we are, that we are trying to overcome nature or rejecting nature or thinking that what we create that should substitute nature is better.
Mm.
And maybe
it's hard work.
Maybe not.
Takes time.
Yeah,
Well,
maybe not.
I mean, there is ways. I mean, I think it's possible to improve, but it takes time, and it's complicated.
Yeah, and it has side effects.
And there is always a price, right?
Always a price. A lot of collateral damage.
So, like us city folks,
Yes.
because I was grown up in the city.
Yeah, you were grown up in a city. You were, or in a suburb of Oslo.
You can maybe say that. So that's
It's not maybe. It was a suburb
suburb. Yeah, but
with a lot of nature around.
Yeah, and my mom lived. So that's interesting.
Your first years.
My first years until I was 5 or 6. I think you guys split up when I was 6 or something.
Yep.
6 years. So that was preschool. That was kindergarten. So we already, by that age, I think I moved around quite a bit. It was two, 3 places.
Three
maybe.
places. You were born in one place. We had a flat, and then we bought a house together with some others, like some sort of.
Like by the sea there, almost.
Yes.
Home, right?
Yes. More by the highway than by the sea.
Yeah, but
It was noisy.
walking distance,
Yeah.
closer to the highway.
Yeah.
But yeah,
And then we moved from there to another flat, and then me and Randi split up.
yeah. No, so that's also so strange with trying to think back when you're that young. Is that I have from Blommenholm, I don't really have any memories. I only have the stories I heard after, which is strange about memory because you can kind of imagine.
Yeah.
But
Incorporated.
yeah, but I remember the kindergarten in Revefara,
Yeah.
Bærum.
There you were like 4.
Yeah, so that I remember. I remember.
Yes.
Not much though, just like some images almost. So and then the modern family started after that. In many ways, meaning you guys were never married even. So
No, that was like
modernity.
the fashion there was to live together without getting married.
Yeah, you guys were the first generation really
Where that was the thing
yeah,
to
that
show
was
that you were
accepted.
modern.
Yeah, that was the modern
But
thing.
we have a waterbed.
Yeah, the waterbed. That's also very modern.
Very modern.
I think that went out of fashion quite quickly.
He
problems and
lived
such.
through the 80s, I think, but after the 80s, I don't know if anybody do it anymore.
No, my mom had that bed for a good while. I think she had it until she moved from Lydershagens gate.
It's a dirty adventure. It's like
it's fun for a night or a week maybe, but I think long term it's I don't know how bad it is actually, but you never see anyone have them anymore. The water bed.
No, because it's not so
I don't know.
hygienic. The water,
I mean, but you're not
plastic.
sleeping in the water.
No, it's
a
the
mattress
plastic.
on top. So I don't know.
It functioned. It was nice in a way, but it's not like wow. I want a waterbed.
Maybe the mattresses have gotten much better, so now it's better. Maybe back then the mattresses were bad.
But
so
it's
a
very
waterbed.
interesting. Like that was an idea that really, took off.
Yeah, because a lot of people had them, right?
Yeah.
It was a common,
thing. Like
and you never see it anymore.
no.
Nobody got a waterbed. It's like, what do you got this year? And a waterbed and a water couch. This is no. it's things go out of style, huh? Some things.
Absolutely.
So the waterbed, but you guys had that waterbed in Revefare?
No.
No, that was after. huh?
Yes. I think we dropped that fucking waterbed when we moved
So my mom got a
to
new
the
one.
house. Yes. But your mom bought a new one.
Maybe she had a waterbed. At least.
Wow.
I'm not sure,
I'm not sure.
but
You
you
have
did.
to ask her.
It's not very easy to move. There's a lot of
Yeah, it's not that complicated, but you have to
just
take out the
drain,
water.
yeah, but that's
Yeah.
I mean, not complicated.
No.
So says the plumber, right?
Yes.
It's easy. No, jokes aside. Well, so I kind of grew up, to make it short and sweet, in a modern family, meaning my mom and you had. I mean, I didn't get any. My two siblings, my two sisters, took 15 years. So there was a 15-year gap before there was a new family, but there were several attempts. Let's say that. So my mom had a couple of new partners as well as you. So the experience was what shall you say? Since you had 50-50 custody as well, right?
Yeah.
So up until the age of was it like first year of high school, something, 15, 14, then I moved in with you full time.
Yeah.
So from basically 6 to 15, it was 50-50. So I moved
Yeah, you were back and forth.
back and forth, like every second week or something like that, right?
Yeah.
On the plus side, it usually wasn't that far. You guys normally lived like
Close.
reasonably close, and at some point even you were in the same
Building.
building. So that was
Yeah,
the best part. Then it was easy
Then it
because then
was
I just
easy.
had two rooms in the
Yes.
same house,
Yes.
basically. Strange,
Strange.
because now you're weak with this family, these rules, and then you come to another household and there's a different set of rules. So my insight is that families operate very differently in how they do things.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's the same. You have dinner, and then it wasn't. Both families were working families. Like my mom was working, you were working. So it wasn't like chaos. But I was a lonely child, so
Yes.
and
Single.
usually school finished
You
earlier than work.
You were lonely. You felt lonely.
It's a good question. I think, I mean, I wasn't lonely in a way that I didn't have enough people around. But I remember after school, a lot of the times, especially when I was quite young. Like later in school, you had like friends. Then you were just hanging out with your friends.
Yeah.
Then it was fine. But until like a certain age, then I was like, before anyone got home, you were alone for, say, a couple of hours. Which, I mean, it wasn't the greatest, I think. But also you have some freedom there, which is nice. You're home alone, you can do what you want. And it was only for a couple of hours. So I wouldn't say I was lonely that way. And when I was young, we also started. I was like the first generation where you got suddenly you had computers at home,
Yeah.
as well as cell phones. the cell phone wasn't that interesting then, but you had computers,
Yes.
and that's it's very fascinating. So that was a start. So you had like play with the computer games, learn things, um, and I did a lot of sport too when I was young. So just went out and played soccer. Or I still had that. It's an interesting way time of growing up because you had that was like kind of the start of the digital age. When I grew up, we only had it was a house phone fixed to the wall. I think I had my first cell phone when I was like, I don't know, 14, 15.
No.
Earlier?
No.
No, later.
Yeah, you didn't have.
15,
I never
18.
bought you a cell phone.
Of course not. But you had some quite early.
Yeah. But no.
But there wasn't a common thing.
No.
Most kids didn't have cell phones. They were
But
big.
I'm more curious about how was your
No, I'm trying to get it. It's so the issue with me moving so much around was I did go to the same school, which was kind of like a stable factor
yeah
in my life because I didn't change school.
no
I did have to travel quite a long way to this. I think it's called the Waldorf School in English.
yes
And they gave
Rudolf
it
Steiner.
Steiner. It was a very strange name.
Rudolf Steiner is like the
He's the inventor.
philosopher.
He was. I mean, he was many
Or his
things.
philosophy is behind the whole education
It
setup.
was like a factory city in Germany.
Yes.
And he kind of invented this type of school for the children
Yeah.
at the factory,
Yes.
Waldorf. And it's quite famous, and I think it's all around.
Yeah.
But in Norway and Denmark, they thought this was sounding a little too uppity up and a little too middle class. So they said, let's call it Steiner.
Yes.
The stoner school.
Yes.
Almost. So, yeah, so we always got called the stoner kids.
Yes.
Steiner, like rock kids. Stuff.
Yes.
Not stoner. But there were stoners there, too. But that school was, in hindsight, I think it's a very good school.
Yeah.
So I get exposed to an environment where there was like a quite mixed, but not too much. So they had like it's a private school,
Yeah.
but they had like this charity kind of thing where they took in like 10% or something.
Yeah, they were
The
like
class was like on a stipend
yes.
scholarship.
Yes.
Yeah. So you had like you always had some problem kids. They usually were those kids too, which is interesting.
Yeah.
Because there you see that in a home, not that money means that much, but usually it's just it's an indicator of other things. Sometimes.
Of course.
So why don't you have anything? It's a good question.
It's always it was one or two kids in your class that create all the noise and all the trouble.
I think that is the way, right? And at least they get the focus and attention.
Yes.
And if they weren't there, the next in line would step up.
Yes. So
I think it's a role in the group too.
Yes. In a way, it is.
So always we're gonna be the joker and the troublemaker, and so this is what I'm trying to get at in my upbringing. It was stable in its chaos. Let's say that. So it was kind of the same, but a lot of uncertainty. I never kind of knew. I could never say like in a year I'm gonna live here. I knew that wasn't for certain. So in that way, I never had very few like neighborhood friends because I'd never bothered investing time. It's like, why?
And also because your school was not in a neighborhood.
Exactly, and that was built around people going there.
Yes.
So Well, interesting now. It was like, so we had our group of friends, so we kind of bonded together and then hung out after school and did all that. But anyways, so it's so hard to say how did you feel when you were like 10, 11? Because how do you compare, right? I mean, it could have been, probably couldn't have been better, but it could have been worse. So, I mean, I thought a lot about it and tried to figure out like what happened here, right? Um, the best the best picture I had like a year ago or something was like I become like this the water lily,
Yes.
which has like it's floating on top of the water, and it has like roots that's like
Yes.
this, and then it just goes like that.
Yes.
It's very wide, but
Yes.
not very deep.
Yes.
So in that way, in life after, I always had like this, like almost like a nomadic lifestyle. I'm so used to living in the bag, like I have all my possessions packed and ready to go, so to speak.
You still live it that way?
Yeah, because that's how I grew up. Always had to pack. And how do you put what you need the most in a bag? That was my an early lesson. In a way,
it's
in a way,
interesting
right?
that it's become your pattern. It's like could be the opposite, that you were longing for stability.
Yeah, that could. No, I think we're as humans and as myself, we kind of replicate what we learn when you're like young,
Yeah,
6, 10 years old.
Yeah, well, probably,
Yeah,
probably.
and it has its. I mean, of course, it has its price. I mean, I don't have kids, so you can say that's a price. But I mean, I had options to do it, still have. So I wouldn't say has more been a choice, not a price, right? So
Yeah, I don't know.
no, I'm saying.
I'm curious about that, but
No,
I'm more, because looking at it now, I feel that when you grew up, I didn't really understand you, or you were always very sensitive. You always been very smart, but also very quiet.
yeah, that's your experience, right?
Yeah. That's of course.
Hmm. But that's back to the lost son and the tyrannical father.
Yeah,
When,
and I like I
when angry dad comes home, you shut up because that's the best strategy. Just lay low, right? Because if you don't, I mean, I made problems too. But
but it was not like it's not only like towards me, but you've been, I don't know what's the right word, but quiet, or not like, you're not like the troublemaker, or
no,
or very outspoken, or like very you were
yeah. Oh, well, that's which we will have later episodes about personality
yes.
and the introvert extrovert thing, which is kind of way to measure that part.
But for me, I read you, or I was like a little disturbed about that, because I was feeling that, okay, maybe, is something wrong, or he should be more outgoing, or I think the biggest pain I have from that is like the personality that you have and you had.
Mm.
I was like a little, I didn't really see it and appreciate it, and I worked very much against it.
Mm.
and that created a lot of tension because I was not really happy with you in a way,
Mhm.
in a strange way.
Yeah. I mean, the
Did
most
you?
compliments I got from you has been through other people. It's like,
Yeah,
oh, I talk to people. Oh, he said so many great things. I'm like, oh, really? I haven't heard that in a while. So it's. I think with others you have.
yeah.
I am assuming you're that way with many of your other closer relations as well. It's not. It's not. The compliments aren't flying left and right.
Probably
The
not.
praise.
I
And
think more now, but
yeah,
that's
kind of a learned behavior. It's a,
yeah, or it's a
the value.
change of your hormone setup, like the testosterones
Yeah,
are.
yeah.
You know, uh,
And
testosterone level is on its way down, and then you get more soft. I don't know, or I'm
it's a
thinking
it's
about
experience easily.
thinking about my age, and that it's if I'm not anybody likes me, it will be pretty
Yeah, experience, right?
pretty lonely thing.
Realizing that things might be better way to do things,
Yeah,
even though, and this is so fascinating, and because that I can feel that myself in many ways. If we tried to do this, say, 15 years ago, it probably wouldn't happen because I would be too caught up in the past,
too
so
wounded.
to speak.
Too
Yeah,
wounded.
yeah, yeah. And that took me quite a while, but now more and more, of course, I recognize there's been conflicts and like trauma and bullshit happening when I grew up. But on the other hand, I also recognize the lessons I learned,
Yep.
and I think that's what we're gonna try to get into a little bit. This is why fatherhood is so different than motherhood in a way, because it's the aspect of tough love, which can get too tough, of course. So there's a
Yeah, or only
very
tough
fine,
and no
then,
love.
yeah, right, exactly. Then it's it can get too much. But on the other spectrum, the lack of any tough like requirements makes it even worse, in my opinion.
Yeah, and it's love is the
The
hard
world
word.
and the world out there is
But you
it's
got
there.
at least you got attention, some attention. But
And
I'm not sure if I should be super honest. I think I was more focused on making money and doing
Yeah.
my career than really taking care of you.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yes, and
You spent
many
some
times
times.
I was very uncertain because I was so um, had so many issues with myself. So I was uncertain what to do with you when I was alone, how to spend the time.
And what to do.
Yes, and it was like complicated.
So your father didn't teach you either.
Yeah,
In a
you
way.
can say that. Okay, I can escape with that one, but
No, it's not an escape. It's how to when you say you didn't know how. So
yeah, I hadn't learned
that
it.
was the point. Yeah.
But I was so unsettled and restless. I remember, and I didn't manage. As I see today, I would in hindsight, I missed a lot of joy.
Mm.
You know, of course,
Your focus was elsewhere.
yeah, I
So
missed
to
out
speak.
in many ways,
Yeah.
and I tried to, I don't know. I think that's I wasn't really there mentally,
And I think that
but physically, I mean, you were we were spending a lot of time together.
yeah. I mean, it wasn't like you were an absentee dad in a way that you weren't around.
No.
Um, I wouldn't say so. And I think it's easy to give yourself a hard time about that stuff. But just imagine now when the parents are home but they're on the screen.
Yeah, yeah.
It's probably even worse. So
yeah.
you at least, it was a time where if you had a cell phone back then, you probably would do the same.
I would be in on
At that age.
Yeah. I would neglect you.
You were like having a kid looking at how to raise the kids video.
Yes.
It's like, what the kid is there? No.
But we always had an open home, and
Yeah, and I think you continued the tradition from your upbringing.
yeah.
It at least I might not be perfect, but at least I'm gonna be have an open, welcoming home.
Yes.
And try to make it a nice place for people to come. And I think you pulled that off quite well. It
All
was
the
usually
guys were hanging around and trying out all
matters of stupid shit.
Yeah.
We weren't that ill behaved, but we did some stuff. But
Yeah.
we did our experimenting, let's say. And I think that was so. In many ways, I had a very full upbringing of experiences and different things and different places. And in hindsight, I mean, the price, of course, of living so many places and so many different kind of families, which was the case because a home changes dramatically when you or my mom had a new partner. The dynamic changes a lot. It might might not see it yourself, but from like an outside perspective, we are very influenced by our closest partner, for example. It changes a lot. And I think that's been, of course, the price I pay, I think, is, I mean, I don't have deep roots. I don't know, maybe get attached too strongly to people in a way. Maybe I pay some price for this.
Yeah,
it has
but,
a price, but
yeah.
it also has some upside. So I can see and accept a wide array of people because I grew up with so many people in a way.
But you finished primary school, this Steiner school, and with
Finished there.
yes,
14, 15.
yeah, and then you went right directly into high school.
Yeah, to Fagerborg,
Yes,
the school of shame. No, Skam
yeah.
was filmed there. Which
Okay.
is like the most famous Norwegian
Not
TV show.
yeah, for some years ago.
Yeah, it was. I
Yes.
think it's still the most known
It was like
Norwegian.
open because they were young.
No, it was about like school kids, right? Doing
Yeah,
things.
but they also were introducing that they were homosexual.
I think I never watched it myself.
Yeah, I think so.
I think
That's-
they were
yeah.
doing this, and
Yeah.
they were doing like modern marketing. So
Yes.
the actors were on social media.
Yeah.
It's like
all
the
this.
first.
Yeah.
Was quite brilliant. They were making people the roles or the actors
Yes.
like act out in real life
Yep.
through social media.
Yes.
Anyways, that was the school, Fagerborg. So that was quite a big change from going to Steinskolen because that place had teachers who wanted to be there.
Yes.
And they were dedicated.
Yes.
For all their shortcomings,
Yeah.
they were like,
but
they really wanted to be there.
But in high school it was not the same.
No. There you had a few good ones,
Yes.
and some were like beyond hopeless compared.
But,
was
but you're a
pretty
smart
bad.
guy. But I remember I didn't really, see that. But your grades were not great.
Yeah, but that was.
But you were lazy. Or you didn't really do school.
I did what I had to do.
Yeah, minimum.
Yeah, I could have gotten straight A's.
Yeah, but then you
Because
dropped out. I think you dropped the physics or something. There was a big issue.
yeah, I
And
was
that was the first time I really,
I was sick and tired of going to school.
yeah, whatever.
That was
But that was like a little behind my back. I remember that you just did it,
Mm.
and I was very disappointed.
Yeah, and that's a core problem or a state of us. I think that I realized at some point that no matter what I do, you're gonna be disappointed. That was because that was always the fact that disappointment was the initial reaction, at least, to almost anything. So I realized it doesn't matter. He's gonna be disappointed anyway, so I might as well just do it. That became the mode, and when I then disappointed myself or didn't do things in the way I hoped or planned, my initial reaction was not to tell you
Yeah,
because now I'm gonna get told off, and I knew that will happen. So instead of confronting that part, I avoided it.
yeah.
Um, so it,
And I remember also you were an excellent skier today, but back then that was like downhill. You never been a cross country skier.
never been. I think I've been cross country skiing so much when I was young that I was every weekend with you.
Yeah, but you did the downhill also. But that that you did. But the cross country you stopped. But the downhill you're still doing, right? The
Yeah.
alpine skiing. Alpine skiing.
Yeah, I enjoy that.
But cross country you don't touch.
No.
So
Not
that's traumatic.
I've done it a couple of times. It's nice, but
So that's
I think
I'm,
that's
I'm very disappointed.
I think the yeah, you're very disappointed. I think and I think
I mean,
we were did a lot of cross country skiing when I was little.
Yeah, when I had
you
the
were out
upper
all
hand,
the time.
there was like, and then you enjoyed it. It looked like.
Yeah, and there is a lot of enjoyment in such a it's a great activity.
Yeah,
But the problem with you and your
teaching skills.
teaching style is that it's a little too much stick and not enough carrot. And it's like always, and you're a big guy, and people tend to not like angry big men. It's the reason. It's dangerous.
Dangerous.
But
I never hit you.
no, and that's actually a thing I think we should get into later much more. Is which was a great thing, and you were good at that. That was the play fighting.
Yes.
Which is such an important part of a child, like any gender, but
Yes.
especially young boys,
Yes.
but girls too. They also need this.
Yes.
It's the play fighting,
Yes.
because this rough and tumble, they call it, like, which is now in schools like prohibited. It's not allowed. It's like now we're abusing.
Yes.
It's abuse now.
Yes.
But the requirement for this rough and tumble, this play fighting, is that
Just look at the animals.
yeah, and
They do it. That's the way they learn.
and that's it. It's how you learn. What's the limit? What can I do?
Yes.
What is fun? What
Yes.
is not fun when
Yes.
it comes to fighting?
Yes.
And because fighting is a interaction,
Yes.
and it's so clear when you see a child or even when they're grown up,
Yes.
if they did that play rough and tumble when they were young.
Yep.
Because if something starts to escalate, now we are getting closer to a physical interaction here.
Yes.
There might be a fight.
Yes.
People who done this play fighting,
Yeah.
much more relaxed and and they know the limits, and
Yeah.
it's like, but other people are like, oh my God, I get a gun almost, because this crisis mode. And I remember too when we were like, I don't know, 14 something, because you always play fight with all the boys.
Yeah.
That was fun, right?
That was
the
fun.
us against the giant.
Yes.
It was a very, very
It was
interesting
like
experience.
on a daily basis.
A daily
almost.
basis, and I think I enjoyed it a lot, and the others too. of course, you stop at some age.
Yes.
You have to like now it's getting too serious.
Yes.
Same with you don't play fight with your adult friends.
No.
Then it has to be organized.
Yes. Jiu-jitsu.
For example, some martial arts,
Yes.
which is a great thing too. But the story there was like we were play fighting at the friend's house, and there was one kid there. He had a father, but I think they never play fight. They never had the rough and tumble.
No.
So when we started play fighting, we were all having fun, but he didn't know, so he just went hard. So the first thing it was like, I don't know, if you gave you his knee or you elbowed you or something, like
Yeah.
it was like way out of line, right?
Yeah.
It's like this is fighting.
Yes.
You crossed the line.
Yeah.
And then you got really mad and just jumped over the ping pong table and
Took
shook
him.
him or something.
Yeah.
Like that's so don't. But and his life later, he's been in a lot of fights because he never learned.
He never learned.
He became part of the underworld.
Yes.
You know. And I think just if you give yourself shit, just that simple fact that you did the rough and tumble, I think that's you kind of from all the baggage, your ship floats there just through doing that male thing of doing the rough and tumble, because that's something I think I benefited tremendously from, is having that. And I always in my life now I know exactly the boundary.
Yes.
So if someone I can hit people just hard enough. It's like stop.
Yes.
Don't hurt them.
No,
I know
no.
exactly the
Yes.
limit. Just
Yeah, but you're not afraid
no
of
I'm not
people.
at all, because I'm
You
so used
don't
to
back
that.
down. You can.
Because I
you
was
stand your ground.
used to fight this giant. It's 5.
Come on.
Imagine fighting a giant when you're 5 years old. You have this 6'10",
Yeah.
and that's a good thing, because then
boy named Sue.
you don't give up. You have to say, okay, he's taller, and then you have to take his ankle,
Yes.
take out this ankle.
Yeah, I remember you were like, you were never giving up
Never giving up.
and going and until you guys were like 10, 12, you could get 2, 3 of you, and I could handle it.
Yeah, and then
But then it
started
started to get
too much. Yeah.
difficult. I
Like-
think we stopped when you were like 14, 15.
Yeah, because then you're like, after been to puberty a couple of years, you start
Yeah.
to get grown up.
Yeah, and then
Then
it's
it starts to get serious.
dangerous.
Yeah. So then you have to do martial arts, which I did. I went through some martial arts. I did some judo, some karate.
Yes.
So I've always been physically active that way. And
But
And-
I remember also I was disappointed when you did this karate, because you didn't. I tried to push you to do it more serious and harder and everything, and then of course the opposite happened. And you just withdraw and
it didn't bother. No, I mean, it's interest based, I think. But also, I became very stubborn
Yes.
in my personality. So if people try to push me and tell me, I'm like, okay,
Fuck you.
good luck with that one. So good luck, I'd say. So
But
I became stubborn in my
then you did
personality.
finishing high school. But did you hang on, or did you complete it, or
Yeah, completed.
yes?
The last year was I was so tired of going to school, and we kind of to Fagerborg, and the difference between yes, the positive thing is what much more people was the reason I changed schools, because it was the environment was so small.
Yeah.
At the Steinskolen.
Yeah.
It's just two classes for every grade. But yeah, I mean, some of those teachers were they didn't care. They
No,
weren't
but that's
they're just for the
okay, tell me
paychecks. The
something-
environment was like,
tell me something new.
yeah, tell me something new. And I remember I did this experiment with a friend of mine, part out of being lazy and part curious. We had a Norwegian essay.
Yes.
We went to different classes, and this was before really computers and stuff. So it was
You
handwritten.
were cheating.
Yeah, no, we gave the same one.
Yes.
So we wrote that one, gave the same one,
Yes.
changed
A little.
title
Yeah.
slightly and a couple of
And
sentences.
you got an A and the other got a C or
No,
opposite?
the other way around. His Norwegian teacher liked him a lot.
Yes.
Mine didn't care too much for me, so
Yes.
he got 2 grades better
Yes.
than me. So he scored almost an A. And
Yeah.
I got a C minus.
Yeah, so
And then we really realized that. So it wasn't a spelling
No.
issue or a grammar. It was just content.
yes.
And then I realized that grades in unless it's mathematics,
Yes.
it's bullshit, because it's based on the teacher's opinion of you,
Yep.
not of your work.
Yeah, that's why the girls are doing so well now,
Yeah.
because they behave and they please and they smile and they
Yeah.
make life less complicated for
There
the
we go.
teacher.
So if you so
And
if
then they're
the teacher likes
Yes.
you and this is the bias becomes if a teacher think you are talented or gifted, they will give you a break if you don't perform. Say, oh, had a bad day today. But if they think you are less talented and not gifted, you don't even almost get the credit when you do perform,
Yes.
because.
But I
Biased.
remember
But I always
a
had
big issue between me and you, and that's traumatic still. It's like whenever you had the chance, of course, high school, you went to parties. Understandable. Like me, I also were really partying. You did. It was mostly alcohol, but you did start smoking weed in the high school also.
yeah, in high school.
Yes.
But I started very late with weed,
Yes.
actually.
Yes.
I didn't do that because I was doing so much sports.
Yes.
I was in that
But I
environment.
remember that, gradually, because you lived home by me from you were like 15,
Correct, 15.
and then
when I switched to Fagerborg,
yes,
I think the first year or a while
there were some traumatics happening there.
Yeah, but I haven't
with
gotten
your
into this. But that was the issue with
Father
both households. It was more or less chaos.
Yeah, but
like
you
24/7.
It
So-
was your choice, right? You were not forced to do that.
no. I had a choice,
Yes.
and the choice was easy because at your place I had more space.
Yes.
That was basically it.
Yeah. Yeah. You had
That
your
was
own
the,
room.
That was I had my own room and more freedom,
Yes.
because at that time you had your second child,
Yes.
so you were pretty much preoccupied with work
Yeah,
and your new family, so to
Giving
speak.
you space. But then I remember that pattern came. That first of all, you didn't have much. You didn't have any jobs, summer jobs or
Yeah, we did had some.
no.
You
That I
you
don't
discount the
remember.
one I had, maybe.
Yeah, but which was that? Be specific.
Well, the first work we did was cleaning your offices, if you recall.
yeah,
did
but
that for
that
a while.
was late.
That was earlier. It was before high school. And that was, remember, in different offices, for example, in Bygdøle. No, remember your when you started that investment group,
Yeah,
We
yeah,
watched there.
Drammensveien.
Drammensveien, yeah,
But that
Right.
was.
a bit later.
Yeah, that was okay. But that was like
But We did, but we weren't.
But you
wasn't that
didn't-
common between our
No, but
peers
I
either
just
to do
want to
the
get
summer
the
work.
point. It's like you didn't really go out there and wanted to work to get money to like my pattern to
No. So now,
establish your own economy and be more independent.
but there we go. And
That you didn't
I
do.
actually was wanting to speak about that before, and that was in a way, I guess I saw what you did. That you were so much more concerned about money and career than
Yeah, it could be
your surroundings.
Yeah,
That I was thinking, that seems like a waste of time.
yeah, in a way.
In a way, it's
Yeah,
like,
but it's
why,
a pattern deeper because, and then of course I was not very happy with you sleeping long. I still hate that, and I have a super problem also with your daughter when she does that when she comes and
Yeah.
visit.
It's a bit strange.
It's like, oh,
because
guys, you're
it's
wasting
fine, but it's an
your
overreaction
life.
on
You're
your part.
wasting your life. Come on, get up. Life
But
is-
young kids need more sleep. This is
Yeah,
the
but
basic
it's not.
fact.
It's not only that. But I don't know if you do it just to annoy me. Probably
Doesn't
not.
take much. I think, no, it doesn't. I think young kids tend to sleep in. That's just the fact of life.
Of course, but even when you got older, not young kids, you still have the same. So there's
No, but it's when you're like a teenager compared to like 30s,
Yeah, but
40s. You
y-
need less sleep now. You
yeah,
appreciate
but
getting up
be
earlier.
honest, you can it's like you've been very much sleeping daytime and up in nighttime,
I've done that too, and it's
very
well,
much.
it depends. I mean, very much. I mean, sometimes, and sometimes that was just a strategy of being awake when you had most privacy.
Yeah, that's a way to look at it.
Yeah, no, that's
But that's what
Because
I
now if I
that's
can
what I
choose-
remember, and that's what some has become a pattern between you and me, is that I was looking at you as lazy, that you didn't put in your work anywhere, and you didn't have a plan.
Mhm.
You didn't know what you wanted to be or not to be. So it was like, in a way, the pattern was, I guess, already there,
Mhm.
building up. Because when you finished high school, you didn't go for any work.
Well, I was straight to the army.
Yes, that's right.
But
That's true.
because this is the interesting
You
thing
were in
with
the
you
army.
is that your perception is so fixed on that, like I'm lazy and don't do anything,
Yes,
that the things I actually do you just
I
ignore,
don't give it
Forget.
any value. Yeah, that's a horrible thing.
because that's true.
I'm sorry for that.
Because
You
it's
went
like
to the army,
it's like just now. If you rewind 10 seconds, it's like, oh, you finished high school, didn't do anything. No, I was straight to the army
Yes,
after.
but you
That
had a
summer.
real service, right?
Yeah. That was no joke.
No,
So straight after summer holiday of high school, I went to the army.
that was good.
Yeah. That I think everybody should.
But did
Have
you do
such an
this right?
experience.
But didn't you have this injury in your knee?
That was before. I had that in like the last semester of
No.
high school. Yeah. So when I was Rus,
Yeah, but
which is like the celebration for the
yeah, but
graduation.
But were you fit to go to the army directly with
After
that?
the summer, yeah. I went straight after the summer. It was a meniscus, wasn't
Yeah,
that serious.
No, that's true.
It was. That's not a serious injury.
But did you have an operation for it?
Yeah. We did it twice
Yes.
actually. So I think that injury happened early in the year,
but,
and then it
my friend, we are thinking, maybe we should look for a landing here. It's passing an hour, and I think we need to have one more episode
Can do more?
with you.
Well,
And
it's
because
more.
to set up the
It's more in
pattern
with
here.
us because
Yes,
your childhood I wasn't around, so
Yes.
I have not much to say.
no,
But there's some interesting parallel, like patterns
Yeah.
between your father and yourself or your family, right?
Yep.
I think we replicate more than we like to think.
Much more. I mean,
Like how to do things. Like
it's like
your dad didn't like to write checks in the morning. Neither do you. Right?
no.
That's
I
that's
don't
been
like-
a pattern all my life.
I don't like to write checks in the
I
evening.
like did the jobs for you, and then it's like payment. Well, let's wait.
Is that true? Yeah.
A lot time later, yeah.
Okay.
That's been always the case,
Okay.
and it's like
Shit.
not like give me money, but do this and I pay you this much, and then the paycheck doesn't come.
Yeah, but
It comes
don't
in the
be-
end.
Don't.
but-
I think you exaggerate a little on that.
No, I have so many examples. It's I don't know. I think it's a pattern you got from your father. The
Yeah,
somehow,
maybe. There is-
and
that's
we
the
don't have to
issue.
go into too much. But
No,
you've been with
to improve that. I guess that's going to be on the improvement list.
no. But let's land there, which
Yes.
is interesting, is because, and I think I too kind of replicated, but I can't do much because I don't have much money,
No.
so I can't execute on that game plan.
No.
But do you think? I think you copied your father's game plan of, like, I like to have you around, so I'm gonna make you through resources. So I mean, how many you bought flats for your ex-wives and girlfriends and so on and so
Yes,
on, which is interesting
Yes.
because not many people do that,
No.
and that's from the outside it looked like a way for you to. Then at least you need me. You don't have to like me, but if you need me, I'm gonna be important to you in a way. So through money, you can make people need you.
Yeah, you can.
then
make
you
them-
are important.
You make them your client.
Then they might not like you, but you're the landlord,
Yeah,
so you have
buy
to.
them.
Yeah, basically.
That's a simple way.
And it works, but it's more fear based than
Yeah, you
respect based.
can't buy your love.
Can't buy love. I mean,
That's-
you can try.
You can try.
And this is the time we live in. You're going to land on that. Is
Yes.
that now more and more people are obsessed and wanting to believe that at least money or at least fame can
Yes.
give you happiness.
Yep.
And I think we should end there and
Yes.
say that I don't think that's true.
No, because we're both happy but not famous.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think, and to land on that, that's what I learned early, is that I saw that the more money you got, it didn't give you more happiness.
That's true.
And I kind of learned that fact, and I saw the other people too, that I saw other families that had much more money than you, and they were
Yes.
even more fucked up.
Yeah.
And kind of went that way. Like
Yes.
the more they had, the worse they had it.
That's true.
Like on the deep relation-based thing.
Yeah.
They had nice places and went nice holidays,
Yes.
but oh my god, the chaos.
Yeah.
And it became like the siblings didn't like each other because they were competing for the money,
Yep.
or
We know about them.
and that's sad.
That's
in a way.
very sad.
So in my twisted way, I kind of said, like, I'm not going to focus on that. I'm going to focus on, and I think that's from when I was really young too. I came home from school, was alone,
Mm-hmm.
so I always been reading, learning, watching things. It's been my passion.
Yeah, that's been your passion, and it's
I've always done it,
Yep.
even in my worst times.
Yes.
My joy has
Yes.
been let's learn something new. Let's
Yeah.
learn something.
Yeah, and very much like academic type of learning,
That too.
Theore-
Any kind.
theoretical.
Yeah, any kind. I mean, I went to med school.
Yes,
Doesn't get
we
more.
will touch on that.
Doesn't get more. Yeah, we'll touch on that. We can get maybe do another episode.
I think so, because there is
Yeah, I
so
can
much
see-
of what we have to deal with going forward is like this concept of me not happy with your life, and also maybe you're not so happy with your life, and I'm not so happy with my life either in many ways. But it's like that to dig into that.
I think
Maybe
we'll do
from a
another one
more fruitful way.
next time. then.
Okay.
Thank you for
Thank
today.
you. Bye.
See you. Bye bye.